Hi, and welcome back to the Race Coordinator tutorials. This tutorial is going to talk about race events, which are a really cool and fairly unique feature to Race Coordinator. It's a really simple concept, really. If you've watched the other tutorials talking about the higher level overview of Race Coordinator, you would have learned that a race event is really just a series of races in which the current race results, the race you just ran, the final standings of that race dictate the seeding of the next race you're about to run. So you can, chain pretty much any number of races you want in a row. It's limitless. And so the first race that you run, the seeding is the ordering that you put the drivers in the race day setup screen. I'll show you that when we get back there. And then from then on, every new race, the seeding is dictated by the standings in the previous race. And with race events, you can limit the number of drivers and all that stuff. As I talked about before, you can limit the number of drivers, that participate in the next race and things like that. So you can really do some cool stuff. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use the event wizard rather, to create our event. I'm just going to call it something bland and boring. And what we're going to do is we're going to create an event with 3 races in it. Basically, we'll do 4. I'll just show you that you can do a couple of cool things here. So the first race we're going to do is going to be a practice race. So you want to start out with some practice time. And we're going to find that in our race list here. Here it is. These are all races that I created in previous tutorials. Now, you have to specify the number of drivers that advance from this race into the next one. 0 means all drivers. I mean, it's a weird number to have in there, but 0 indicates everybody advances. You could only advance 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. If you want to whittle the field down, this is what you would use. Obviously, for a practice race, I mean, if you've seen the tutorials, you know that a practice race has no standing, so reducing the field down there is really kind of cruel. It just means that, based on the order you add them into the race event, people just automatically get eliminated. So 0 is good for that one. Now you'll notice this box cleared itself. That's just to make you really think about what you want to do here, and not let you get carried away. So we're gonna carry all the drivers through every race. Even though, like I said, you can start whittling the field down. Some race events might have the finals race only, like on a 4-lane track. It would be the top 4 drivers. If you were going to do that, you would simply enter 4 here, and then the race I'm about to add would be a qualifier into the finals, and then that finals race would guarantee to only have 4 drivers. But like I said, we're gonna use everybody. The next race we're gonna run is we're gonna do a fastest lap sprint race as the qualifying event. So we're gonna throw this one in here. That's our tutorial sprint, which we created. And then, like I said, so again, that cleared. So what we're going to do is we're going to show, like, maybe this is a lengthy race, maybe you got a lot of drivers, whatever, and you want to bounce back and forth between practice and qualifying, practice, and then final. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another practice race in. So you can add in the same race as many times as you want. You could do 5 sprint races in a row where you whittle the field down, or just really whatever you can think of, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Go crazy. So at this point, we've done a practice race, our qualifying race. Now we're at another practice race. Now, the results of this sprint here will determine the seeding for the practice race, which of course doesn't matter, but that same seeding will carry over into the next real race. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to add in, we're going to make it 0 here again. We're going to make sure that's set to 0, and we're going to use our single lane step-up race that we created before, because the step-up race really makes a cool finals event, and it makes puts a lot of weight on the qualifying race and everything. So that's it. Our event is set up. We're going to say create. It created successfully, and we're all done. What you'll see here is now the event is created. Now, like I said, the first race you run, no matter whether you use race events or races, the seeding for that race is always based on the order over here in the driver's racing screen on the race day setup screen, this screen here that you're looking at. After that, in an event, the seeding changes based on how they performed in that current race, and basically how many drivers can advance. So we're just going to run this race event now, and what you'll see is here's your practice screen, and like every other, this is just a normal race at this point. You can see the practice had a 5-minute auto start. Well, we're not going to wait for that. We're just going to kick it in. Now you can
Lane
see
1 best lap, Lane 2 best lap, 4 best lap, Lane 3 best lap.
What I will say is I have modified, just so you know, I have modified
Lane 2 best lap,
timing and auto
Lane 3 best lap.
tutorials we set up just to make things go faster, and so you can see things play out much quicker because I do only have 10 minutes. So with that said, even I'm going to abort the practice. So you can see this practice is running. And
Lane 4, best lap.
This is just like any other practice race. Drivers come and go on the lanes, you know.
Lane 2, best lap.
When you
Lane 4, best lap.
Event before it finishes. In this case, I just did. You get this message saying, hey, the race was terminated before completion. Do you want to continue the event? If you say no, you abort the entire race event, and it's over. It's like it never happened. You lose everything. Stats, you know, nothing saved, nothing happened. So we're going to say yes, and what will happen is it'll jump us to our next race, and you can see it's our tutorial sprint race. Again, normally the sprint race would be done. I'm going to start it up just to save time.
5,
I'm sorry,
4,
I have to rush through the race
3,
itself, but,
2,
normally
1,
a sprint race like
go.
this, which runs basically would be done such that a driver can race on any
New
single
lap
lane
record.
here. You'll notice I didn't set that up. I changed
Heat
the sprint
over.
race to run only a single lane. That's simply because the demo mode doesn't work
5,
well. It
4,
just randomly
3,
fire out laps, and it gets
2,
weird. So I just put
1,
one lane.
go.
It's just a little easier to see. Again, single lane solo. You could do any kind of heat rotation here for your qualifier you want, but for my idea of a sprint race, this
Heat
is
over.
and you'll notice, so you'll see here I've got the excuse me.
5,
I have the race set up
4,
for 10-second heats,
3,
and I'm cranking
2,
through them because again, I
1,
only have about 4
go.
minutes for this tutorial, 3.5 minutes, and so I'm trying to get through all 10 drivers so that we can see basically the final standings and
Best heat lap.
uh,
Heat over.
what happens once the race is over.
5,
What I want to show you
4,
is the next race after
3,
this one, which will be a
2,
practice race, which will
1,
come up,
go.
and we'll skip it, and then I want to show you the race after that, and what you'll see is the seeding order and that they finished here. You know, whoever had the fastest lap will be the 1 seed, second fastest will be the 2
Heat
seed,
over.
etc. It's
5,
because it's going so fast,
4,
it's not so obvious, but
3,
as soon as this heat ends,
2,
you see a 30-second
1,
countdown. That's the
go.
timer for the auto advance timer. And then when I advance to the next heat, you see another 30-second timer. That's the auto start timer. So here comes 30 seconds.
Heat
Right
over.
now, that's the auto. Now it's counting down for the auto advance. I'm going to auto advance by using the hotkeys Control N. And now that's the auto start timer as we switch heats. And I'm going to hit Control S
5,
to start the race manually
4,
just to save time.
3, 2, 1,
But if those
go.
had fired off, you could run the whole race hands-free, I guess is the point that I'm trying to make in this race. And I hope I have time. I'm running out here, but I think I've got
Heat over.
40 seconds more of this, and then I can crank through some of the other stuff. So
5, 4,
so we're going as fast as we
3,
can here, and as soon as the
2,
race is over, I'll bring up the
1,
leaderboard so you can see
go.
the race standings. And I'm only going to point out a couple, and then I'll show you the. I'll get to the finals race, and we'll show you the seeding. So
Heat
that you can see
over.
what the step up looks like based on
5,
the standings
4,
for this race.
3,
And that's really all that's
2,
really all there is to an event.
1, go.
Hopefully for those people who run big, huge club nights and things like that, multiple qualifying events and things. If you're using pen and paper in the
Best
past,
heat lap.
hopefully,
Heat over.
this kind of format is something that'll pique your interest.
5, 4,
There's no need
3,
for pen and paper here. You just
2,
run a race coordinator and
1,
let it handle
go.
everything. So once you've got your races set up and then you set up your event, you're rolling. Something to point out here is that I'm about to run into a practice race.
Best heat lap.
Maybe you want to have 2 different
Heat
practice
over.
races, one with one timing and one with another.
5,
Maybe your morning
4,
practice is 2 hours,
3,
3 hours long,
2,
like 9 to noon.
1,
and then,
go.
qualifying's happen, and then maybe before your finals, you have a practice that's only 10 minutes. 4 drivers that are in your finals can race for the 10 minutes on practice for 10 minutes or whatever. So
Race over.
anyways, so now the race is over, and I'll show you the leaderboard real quick here. Trying to go get it. I've opened up about 5 leaderboards, but here we go. So you can see, so here are the standings. Driver 10, 9, 4, 6, 7, 1, 5, 2, 3, 8. So what you're going to see in the next race, the next real race, is that drivers 8 and 3 and 2, these are going to be at the bottom of the step-up ladder, and they're going to race first and have to step all the way up through. I'm really running out of time here, so I'm going to quit. It's going to automatically go to my practice. I'm going to start. It's running. I'm going to close it real quick just to get it out. It's gone, and now here's my finals race.
5,
so start, and you
4,
can see drivers
3,
5, 2, 3, and 8. These
2,
are the drivers from the
1,
previous,
go.
from the previous race. See if I can get the. So you can see how this is going to step up. It's a single lane step
New
up.
lane
You
record.
can see the top-seeded drivers are all in the final heat, which is the finals. That's it. it. Thanks.
New lane record.